Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, it's the Straight to the Apex podcast, our Formula One podcast. He's back, ladies and gents. He's been on his jollies, and he's returned. And he's returned reinvigorated, recharged, ready for more Formula One. That's right. It's Formula One time. Races. Race reviews, race previews, all the stuff that gets put into the description every week. Race time, baby. Before we start, please do consider like, share, subscribe and comment. Leave reviews where you can leave reviews. Obviously, the biggest one is share the podcast around. If you've got a Formula One fan in your life, send this podcast in their direction. They'll be like, hey, that was awesome. Thank you. Right. Enough from me. Let's hear from these guys. Here we go. This is CookieCast, straight to the apex.
Hello. Sorry, I was looking for the record button. It's been a while. I've been off. I am back. Hello. Unfortunate for you, these two guys, I've returned from China. I haven't been arrested. Not yet, anyway. Still time. Welcome to Straight to the Apex podcast, Series 3, Episode 21 on your CookieCast. Joining me, as I'm leading this week. Hello. Chinese Mark is here. Joining me. That's all types of wrong. Joining me and getting a thanks from me for not getting cancelled while I was away, Mr. James Stainforth.
I couldn't do it.
We'll get into me listening to the podcast from last week later on, but well done you.
I'm so ashamed.
Also, for recording it, for sending it to Andy.
Eventually.
Because he forgot that he had to send it. Mr. Tony Rawson.
Hi.
How are we doing?
All right.
Good. Short turnaround this week. Hey?
Sorry, back, mate.
Is it? You don't mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I listened to the podcast. I listened to you guys earlier today because I thought, well, I best listen just to see how much I got slagged off. I got a 5-point penalty for being called Mark for some shit idea that Tony had. I mean, let's be honest, the FIA didn't step in. Normally they do when we rule change. I haven't forgotten. I've still got my forfeit to do. I will do it next week, honestly. I'll do it before the season's out. Don't think Tony's done his yet. Has Tony done his yet? No,
I don't, man.
No.
I don't plan to.
Wow. Well.
I just heard the FIA then.
Yeah, there was a laugh from the FIA, so I'm reckoning James is going to get a message at some point today. Short turnaround. Obviously, Texas last week, Mexico just gone, and Brazil next week. It's another sprint race next week, guys.
Oh, I meant to check.
Brazil, though. Brazil. It's Brazil.
The Brazil Street
Good.
Sprint.
It's a good track.
It is a good track, but I mean, there's 4 races left. I guess it's the last sprint of the year, so possibly. Don't matter. Apparently, going straight into the news, Red Bull hint at Verstappen grid penalty for engine change in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
So he could be on the back foot. Horner has refused to confirm Perez for next year, which I'm sure we'll talk about later on, his performance this weekend at his home Grand Prix. I mean, to sum it up, guys, in one word, what would you say?
Shit.
Absolute
shit. What a disgrace of a fucking driver.
Great one word there, guys.
Perez.
Yeah.
I thought it was about Red Bull as a whole then, but yeah.
Oh.
Same word for both.
Yeah. Only other thing I've got news-wise is FIA discussing if they should punish Leclerc for swearing in the press conference. I've not seen what he said.
Yeah, probably because they're clamping down on it.
I ain't seen what he said, but I think if the FIA is clever, they will do. Because otherwise, it's just going to fall into fucking Red Bull's lap when they're going on about inconsistencies again.
I'm on and off with being a fan of Max. Some weeks I like him, some I don't. I'm in the current stage where I don't like him.
Yep.
But he was punished. He was punished for swearing. You've got to be fair across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless who, like I say, I don't know what context it's said in. I don't know, but Max just said his engine was shit and he got all that. So whatever Leclerc said, unfortunately, you've got to be consistent. Otherwise, you make a mockery of everything.
Yeah.
So anything else, guys? I think we've got a few points in quality to talk about. I think the race is a biggie. And I want to save some time and talk about the drivers' standings and the constructors, because because we touch on it now and again. Let's be honest, it's been a bit boring this year, but it isn't anymore.
No,
maybe one championship is, but the other one is certainly wide open. But any other news, guys, before we whiz on to quali?
No, that I can think of. Just welcome back.
Thank you.
How was it? What was the highlight of your trip?
Surviving, not being on the toilet constantly. No, every bit was good. Shanghai was nice. Hong Kong was amazing. Macau for me was absolutely blew Las Vegas out of the water. Absolutely.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Honest to God, it was like Vegas times 10, but just cleaner, better, and less Americans. It was just, I can't describe how good Macau was. We was treated like VIPs. It was, what an experience. We got so much free stuff in that hotel for one night than we did for about 10 holidays. The hotels, everything was just absolutely first class. If you're gonna go to Macau.
Macau.
Yeah.
Yeah,
fly Macau. But no, it was all good. It was all the Disney parks were great out there. Yeah, it was good. The food was ropey. The toilet situation was a bit squatty potties as there were.
No.
But luckily they had Western toilets with no queue.
All right. With actual seats. Wow.
Yeah. Well, in Disney, there was like the block of toilets. You had 4 or 5 squatty potties and 2 Western toilets. And obviously all the locals went to the squatty potties. So no one went to the Western ones. It was fine. It was great.
Wow. Nice.
Wow.
I can't even imagine. It's just no.
It was good. It was very good.
I like to throw at me when I go to the toilet. Anyway.
So I will say, well done, guys, for the we already had a text message. Breaking news. Right, while we're in the news section, the FIA have spoken. Over to you, James.
Yeah. Hi, James. I hope you're okay. You are such a handsome man, so intelligent, and your beard is stunning. No, she didn't say that bit.
Wow, I'm surprised.
Okay, I'm fine. I hope you are too. Message from the FIA: for the distinct breaching rules from A. Rawson and disregard for FIA, an immediate 2-point deduction. If the forfeit is not completed, there will be further deductions.
Give me everything.
In the FIA. Also, why Anthony is up Mark's ringhole today, I don't know. FIA caution.
Bringing him back.
It's probably because listening to you guys last week, he was a knobhead to me.
I don't think I was.
they're born
I
on
was
the
West. I've got better over time.
True. No, I did listen to the podcast. I thought it was a very good podcast.
Thank God. I was shattered. I think I was on about 4 hours sleep.
Obviously, we've had some messages from the Overlord himself because you guys have decided to fill our calendars with bullshit podcasts, Darkest Timeline podcasts, NFL guest appearance podcast, and a super duper collaboration Infinity Stone podcast where we all get together from every podcast on the CookieCast network, Christmas specials. So yeah, my life is a little bit busier.
Ooh.
What?
I think the term I used for the we all get together kind of thing was like an Avengers Assemble kind of thing. Can we all dress up as Avengers?
No.
Bagsy Thanos.
What? Why wouldn't you want to dress up as an Avenger?
No. Just no.
You're not invited then. Before we get into the quali though, comment was made on the podcast last week. So Tony, you've got 5 minutes. I'm going to open this up. You're allowed to talk about anything you want for 5 minutes because I don't allow you to talk about anything other than Formula One. So this section is new. It's going to be Tony's 5-minute corner.
Hang on.
Yeah, get your time ready. You've got 5 minutes to talk about anything other than Formula One.
Well.
When I'm hosting, I'm allowing this.
Cool.
Ten
Hag has been sacked. How do you feel?
I'm disappointed but not surprised. I wanted to back him still, but I understand why. I think this sporting Portuguese guy isn't the way to go.
Oh.
But I might be proven wrong. So.
Okay. Are you ready for Halloween tomorrow?
Don't really care for it, but next question. It's not tomorrow, it's Thursday.
No, I'm ready for it on Thursday, though.
Is it? Is it Thursday?
Betsy
I'm
first.
I'm not ready for it.
No, clearly not.
Did you watch the Hail Mary touchdown
Yes.
at the weekend? What did you think?
Well, did you see the video of him actually pointing to the crowd about 2 minutes before the Hail Mary touchdown?
Yes.
And the crowd had to kind of say, turn around, jackass. And then he was the one. He was the one that tipped it into the guy's hands. Yeah. Clown. I mean, to be fair, Jalen Daniels, for all you NFL people out there, Jalen Daniels has been an absolute animal this season. What a pick. I mean, he was second pick overall in the draft. He's been an absolute sensation. How's your Miami Dolphins fandom doing? Next question. Right, next question.
How's the car?
Good.
Oh, we'll go on, sir.
Good.
It's good. Enjoying it. Still going.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, you can talk about anything. You don't have to ask me questions. It's not like question time.
I struggle thinking what's on top of my head, really.
You didn't expect it, did you? You didn't expect me to give you this freedom.
Oh, if you give me freedom, we could talk for hours about shit. Hours.
Speaking of talking about shit, can we talk about your haircut?
What about it? What about my haircut?
A bit different.
This is when the FIA comes back and goes 2 points to Mark.
Feel like you're trying to be a rapper, like I don't know.
It's
need
like
cutting, really.
Turkey and come back with new hair.
Is it? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking it last week. There does seem to be less forehead.
He went for the turkey teeth and come back with a turkey hair.
It's getting there. It's here.
I think it's just because you got your hair down, in fairness. because it's normally up like it was then.
Yeah.
There's the Tony I know and love.
Yeah, there we are.
No.
Last week he looked
That's
like
better.
Lloyd out of fucking Dumb and Dumber.
Also, I feel like your jumper does look like you're at a barber's, with the apron on. Apart, if you couldn't see the Under Armour, it'd look like a barber's apron. There we are. Yeah. How long we got left?
Ages.
Come on, Toad.
Oh shit!
You've got a minute 30 to talk about anything.
What do you think to the Rovers home kit? I've not asked you this.
Looks like a packet of cigarettes.
Mm,
Ever since someone said that to me, I can't look at it.
The old.
no.
I love
Marlboro.
I love the purple one. I'm interested to see what the away kit's going to be, but I refuse to buy any Rovers shirt because of the connection along the front. I just won't buy it. I hate them.
Elements I like of the home kit, mainly the shoulders, like the shoulder colour, stuff like that. The purple, if they switch the colours round so it was mainly dark purple with light purple highlights, that'd be good. I think the third kit is going to be that new range that's come out, which is a kind of Superman blue and red.
Oh dear.
Dear.
Mm.
I think it's going to be yellow.
Yellow. Interesting.
Bold claim, but yellow.
And just as we're on Rovers, I am now a pass holder. We've got a pass.
Oh wow.
15 seconds left.
Well, it turned into question time.
I think that's it.
5,
I think that's it.
2, 1.
Right. It's all Formula One now. No deviating. You've had your 5 minutes of fame.
Okay.
So, Mexican Grand Prix qualifying.
I feel better now.
Perez and Piastri both knocked out in Q1. Piastri had a lap time deleted. Perez was just fucking shit. And I can say that because we've got a little mark that we can swear. So, yeah.
More Q1 exits this season now than Yuki Tsunoda and another driver. I can't remember who the other driver is.
Really?
Yep.
Like, what? Why was he knocked out? What was it? He didn't get a lap deleted, did he? I'm trying to think back.
No.
Piastri got a lap time deleted. Perez didn't, did he?
He got knocked out because he was shit. That is it. That is plain and simple how he got knocked out in his home race.
So in Q1, Max was pole in Q1. Perez was fed from last. I know we've said it before. They've got different cars. I know we always say this. But it's now in Red Bull's interest for both cars to score points. So surely they haven't got different spec cars. This is all down to driver. Am I right? You've got to be on it.
I agree. It's terrible. It's just it can't.
All down.
It's checked out. Checo has checked out.
Do you still not think so, James? Do you not think it's all down to the driver?
No.
But it's in their best interest. It's in their best interest for two cars to score points now. Why? What makes you think that? Just the corruptness of Red Bull.
They shit. I'm sorry. It's terrible.
Probably right.
You
know what?
He had a run. He had a clear run. Q1. Off you go. And he wasn't good enough. So why in his home race, guys? In his home race. What?
Yeah, but going on what you said, mate. Checo's checked out. I think you're right. When I look back on the weekend now, he wasn't as enthused as he normally is at Mexico. No. And normally he's all over the place. He's fucking dressing up. He's doing all that kind of shit. But when I think about how he was on the radio, it's like you're out in Q1 and he goes, shit.
Yeah.
And when he gets to the race, and they went, "Oh, no, that was a false start." He goes, "No, it wasn't. It was a great start."
That's terrible. That's terrible.
Where's your passion? There's nothing there.
He crossed the line. An experienced driver, he crossed the line at the start. And they came on the radio and said that, didn't they? They said, "You've crossed the line." And he went, "Oh, I don't think I did. Check it." It's like, no, mate, no. You crossed the line. It's fucking clear. And millions of people have seen that except for you. They've dropped, the yellow line is extended so you can see it. And you've gone over it. So
that was arrogance, though, because
exactly.
Even when they said, "Oh, you was too far," because at first they said, "Oh, you had a false start," and he was like, "No, mate, that was a perfect start. Go check it." Right? Okay. Actually, the penalty's for you being too far forward in the box. Now, are you shitting me? Like, you want that much out? It was almost full front wheel. Like Martin said in commentary straight away, he was like, "Jesus, that is such an advantage. How can he have the audacity to say, now that's just him being a prick?" And I think he's got to this stage.
I think he lost interest. You're probably right.
Retire.
We have got very similar cars now because they need both cars to score points and stuff like that.
Mm.
But yeah, if
someone at work made a really good point to me. If you was to put Liam Lawson in that car next year, he would probably struggle alongside Max. If you went to the second year, he would probably struggle alongside Max, but do a little better than the season before. If you give him a third season and a fourth season, Liam Lawson would probably be a massive problem for Max Verstappen because Liam Lawson seems to have quite a bit of talent, and I'm not just saying that for Liam Lawson, that's probably 40% of the grid. If you put a strong second, Norris, Sainz, if you put one of them in the car with Max, they'd probably struggle for the first couple of seasons and then get a grip of the car, get better. Perez seems to have gone the other way.
He seems to have got worse every season.
He was near Max, but not. He had a half a second gap all the time. He's now 3 seconds, 4 seconds, and I know Max is moaning that the car's terrible, but Jesus Christ, if the car's terrible, where's Perez?
He had 2 seasons where he was in contention for the championship as well.
Yep.
And
but go on, finish your point.
I was going to say, and then this year, and I think most of last year as well, it was just, the fuck is he doing?
Then in the past, Max had a far superior car. They both had a far superior car, and he actually wanted it a bit. It must have been really, that car must have been head and shoulders above everybody else, because now he's just crap. He's definitely in the bottom 5 drivers easily.
Yep.
Potentially bottom 3.
If Ricciardo's getting binned,
why ain't he?
Why ain't he?
There must be a massive reason as to why they can't bin him.
And if
money, it has to be money. Has to be.
But if you was his backer, you'd stop backing him surely, because like you say, if he has checked out, why are you chucking money at a 3-legged horse? Do you know what I mean? Like, what's the point?
Because family, it must be family. It must be something to do with his dad, or so it must be something. It must be, unless the machine of Red Bull has just grained on him so much that he has checked out. He can't be asked anymore. He knows, and that's why he's doing what he's doing. Is he doing what he's doing on purpose?
I reckon this is more to do with the fucking power vacuum that is Red Bull at the moment.
Yeah.
Because we've all said it. Helmut Marko wanted rid of Perez a lot earlier, and we all think that, fucking Horner said something to convince him to stay.
Yeah.
Now Horner's turning around going, well, we need to look at Perez.
Maybe he's kept him around because he deflects from all Horner's wrongdoings. If everyone's talking about Perez and how shit he is, no one's talking about anything to do with Christian Horner anymore.
Or is it Max wrongdoings? Or is it Red Bull wrongdoings?
Well,
is it? We've spoke about it before. Is it stability within a team? Is it finance? Is it? I don't know.
Well, it's going to bite him in the arse because they were absolutely nailed on for the constructors, and that's now a struggle. So
that's gone.
So to me, they reap what they sow because they've fucked themselves basically, and they deserve everything they get.
But do you think he'll end up in VCAR? Perez?
I don't know. I don't know. Who knows?
After Red Bull, I can't see him sticking around.
Oh no, I don't think. I think he'll be gone. Yeah, I think he won't be in any car on the grid. No,
and is that why he's like he is? Because he knows this is it.
Yeah, but then you fight for it. If this is it, if this is your only shot, you're in the pinnacle of motorsport. You're in, why wouldn't you fight for it? I don't get it. I don't get it. So yeah, Colapinto, Piastri, Perez, Ocon, Zhou was knocked out in Q1. Q2, Tsunoda, Lawson, Alonso, Stroll, Bottas. Tsunoda crashed at the end of Q2 at 10-12, which ended the session early. Kind of screwed over Alonso and Stroll. I mean, Alonso. So Q2 ended early. We then got into Q3. Max looked to be getting pole, but had his lap deleted. And it was kind of a thingy Q3, but Sainz was pole.
Sainz fucking his last two laps. I mean, Norris had a really fast fucking qualifying lap, I think, in Q2, and it was the 116, just a little over. Obviously, Verstappen didn't just cut one corner; he cut fucking two of them.
Yeah,
and fucking blatant as hell. So he deserved, and I was fucking jumping for joy in this living room when I was, so, yeah. But yeah, the fucking last two, because Sainz is second to last lap. It was like 116 and 9 thousandths of a second, pretty much 116 flat. And Brundle was like, you're not going to get much better than that. And then he goes and does his next lap, and it was 115.8, I think.
9, yeah, 8,
yeah.
9. Yeah.
Fucking
really, really impressive. Carlos Sainz this weekend was very impressive. Very impressive. Really, he built through practice. He smashed qualifying. And he beat a lot of quick cars. And the race we'll talk about in a bit. Like, wow, Carlos Sainz can drive an F1 car. It's a shame he's going to Williams, but we'll see how that plays out.
Well, it's funny you should say that. So on that point, I'm just going to quickly finish. Sainz was pole, Max second, Norris third, Leclerc fourth, Russell fifth, Hamilton sixth, Magnussen seventh, Strong from Pass again, Gasly 8th, Albon 9th, Hülkenberg 10th. What you've just said about Sainz, we've just talked about Perez. Why wasn't Sainz given the shot in that second Red Bull car? Because let's be honest, Ferrari had an opportunity for Lewis. Lewis, it's looking like a good deal to Ferrari at the minute. We called that in the middle of the year. We were like, what is he doing the right thing? Ferrari have got the shit together. All of a sudden, Fred Vasseur has got there's no pit stop calamities anymore. There's no strategy calamities anymore. That car is looking fast. At certain tracks, it looks unbeatable, like this weekend. Sainz, unfortunately, a seat was made for Lewis. It is what it is. Why didn't, McLaren have Norris and Piastri, Why didn't Mercedes look at Sainz? Why didn't Red Bull, who he was a junior Red Bull driver, why didn't they say, hey, you did well at Toro Rosso against Max, let's get him back in the car? On that week, this weekend's performance, why has nobody looked at him?
I don't. I said at the start of this season, Ferrari made a mistake they got rid of the wrong driver. And I still think, I mean, he's the only driver last year to beat Max Verstappen.
Mm.
He was the first driver this year to beat Max Verstappen. And he is now, is it 3 races he's won this season now?
Mm.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, two off 3 now. Yeah,
2 or 3, yeah. Yeah, and I don't get it. Mercedes was looking for a driver for a long time, even though Toto's still like, oh yeah, we had him all along. He's like, you fucking didn't.
no.
Red Bull as well. There was so many teams out there looking for a second driver, and in some cases both drivers. And the only one that went sniffing was Williams.
Mm.
They've got a good fucking deal.
Oh yeah, because if they get the shit together with a car, all of a sudden they could be up there.
Yeah, he only needs to get them a little bit higher in the champion, and then all of a sudden that's it. You're getting bigger sponsors. You're getting more money, more funding coming in. You're getting more time in the wind tunnel. That difference of finishing 18th in the constructors and finishing 17th you're talking millions.
Mm.
Mm.
Here's a question for you. So we'll talk about the race in part 2. So we've got 6 minutes left. So here's a question. If you discount Lewis, Max, Alonso, because they're the 3 drivers on the grid that have won a drivers' championship, okay? So you've got the other drivers left. Out of them, which one over the season can win a championship? You what, sorry? Hamilton. Lance Stroll, yeah.
George Russell.
I don't think George Russell can win a championship over a year.
No.
I think he can one day.
Do you think? I don't think he's consistent enough over 20 odd races in a season. I don't think he's got that killer, that extra. You've got to have an extra bit to be a champion.
Do you think who has more of the extra bit to be a champion? Lando Norris or George Russell?
Neither of them. This is my point. Neither of them.
But out of the 2,
neither of them. Neither. I am.
Norris.
Really?
Yeah, I can. What did he say?
Out of the 2 of them, Norris.
No,
I don't think either of them. Honest.
Alex, you can't say to someone you have a choice of 2. Out of the 2 of them, who would have the best?
Go back to the original question. Then. What was?
But I don't. They're not on my list as champions. I don't think Lando Norris or George Russell will ever be a drivers' champion. I can't see it. Piastri, I can. Sainz, I can.
Yeah,
possibly.
I can.
Leclerc, no. Not over a season. Norris, no. Russell, no. Perez, no. Stroll, no. Honest to God, if you take Lewis, Max, and Alonso off that grid, I think the only 2 drivers that can win a championship over the season are Carlos Sainz and Oscar Piastri.
It's a very good question. Very good question. I agree.
Piastri is just going to be another Ricciardo.
Do you think?
No. Oh my God, that's a bombshell.
Well, you've heard the rumours about Mark Webber's been sniffing around, and he's his agent. He's trying to get him at Red Bull.
Sniffing what?
It's not Horner. Don't worry.
No.
But yeah, Mark Webber has been hanging around Red Bull and obviously he's Piastri's agent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Piastri goes to Red Bull. Will Red Bull do what they do to all other drivers? You know, your Albons, your Gasly's, and just fucking destroy them. It took Sainz a long time after fucking what Red Bull did to him.
Oh, it did. Yeah, you're right. But I think that's possibly made him into a driver that can win the championship. I think he went to McLaren, the car improved. Obviously, I'm not saying it down to him. However, it's just a coincidence that it improved. He went to Renault for a year, the car improved. I just think he's got that bad experience at Toro Rosso because they didn't get the Red Bull seat. He's got that extra edge. And Oscar Piastri, I think, is one of the most talented drivers on the grid. He makes mistakes, but he's still only young. But Lando Norris just hasn't got that killer instinct. And we called this earlier in the season. He shouldn't have let Piastri overtake him when it was team orders. He shouldn't have. There's other things where Norris could have won or got pole or done something, and he's let it slip because he just hasn't got that extra bit.
But I think we're seeing Lando learn a lot as well. In the last 6 races, I would say. No, since his first
season. I think it's this season. Really?
He's got but since his first win, he's got more eager. You know, he's like Hamilton now. If he can smell it, he's going to go for it. But his challenge at the moment is Max, and I think what Max did last week shook him a little bit, and that's why he was a little bit iffy at times.
I think it might. I think Lando Norris has changed completely.
Yeah, and he's learning so much. And Max is his massive. Max is his thing. If he's always going to be up against Max, he's already starting to get that kind of same Lewis Hamilton thing of I ain't going to back down to him.
Do you know what gets me? I think they need to shake this friendship.
Yeah,
we've all grown up. We've all grown up karting, and it's all real nice, and it makes for a great story. But I think we need to leave that at the door now because now it's about history and legacy and championships and winning.
No, you're right.
Friendship is shook.
You're right. Well, on that note, we'll take a break and we'll come back and talk about the race in part 2. See you soon.
Hey, you. Yeah, you that's listening right now. Thanks very much for tuning into this episode of Straight to the Apex, the Formula 1 podcast from CookieCast. If you're enjoying this episode, why not like, share and subscribe? Whilst you're there, feel free to check out some of the other podcasts that CookieCast has to offer. If you like football, we've got a football podcast. NFL more your thing? Then the Laces Out podcast is for you. Maybe even a little bit of the wrestling? Just look for the Getting Over podcast on CookieCast. Maybe you want to listen to Andy's Darkest Timeline. It's there too. So, the F1 boys have probably got themselves a drink. It's time to get back to the action.
And we are back for part 2, episode 21, Straight to the Apex podcast with me, Mark, your man Tony, and your man James. Just before we get going, I would like to make an announcement, a statement, as it were. The hair banter was just banter. Didn't mean it. I mean, I can't talk. People watching on this video, I've got an island. So to anyone offended about hair, I do apologise.
All the people that have gone to turkey clinics are now offended.
Exactly. I've offended people that go get turkey teeth and hair, and I've offended Tony.
That's all right. I go to the same barber as James, so
I think it's because you didn't have your cap on. I'm used to your
cap. Shit! I just realised that, and I'm seeing him on Saturday.
That's right. So if I've got a shit haircut, then James has automatically got a shit haircut as well. So I was like, well, fair dues.
Ash, if you do actually happen to listen to this,
sorry, Ash.
I didn't mean it.
Sorry, Ash. It was bant. It was all about the bant. It was like Carlos Sainz bant. So, thank you. Got that out of the way. Thanks to Andy as always. I know he listens to this. I'd say I feel sorry for him, but statistically he quite enjoys it. I don't know what's wrong with him.
He's let us continue for 3 years.
I'm not going to pull at that thread. Something's clearly wrong with him if he laughs and enjoys this. So let's roll with it. So the race. Ocon started from the pit lane due to changing power unit elements.
And his French.
Hey?
And his French.
Again, we
get
don't
that joke.
condone. Well, we'll just move on. Half the grid started on hards with the rest on mediums. I've got a list of people that started on hards, but to be brutally honest, it doesn't really matter. Max got a good start. It was a long Sainz into 10-1. He did kind of force Sainz across the grass. Sainz just went hurtling across the grass. But Sainz did give the place back. Something that Norris didn't do last week, which you guys discussed in length. In the background of this amazing start by Max and Sainz going across the grass, you just saw a little skittle RB going along the barrier, and that was Tsunoda crashing. Wouldn't say Tsunoda's fault, wouldn't say Albon's fault. Albon had to swerve. Tsunoda was on the left. 3 into 1 doesn't go.
No.
It was just one of them racing incidents at the start.
Very ballsy cameraman, though.
Yes. Hats off to the cameraman.
Because that car was hurtling at him at speed, and he did not flinch once.
No.
Or bail out.
So that brought the safety car out. As the safety car was pootling around, we had, as we discussed, Perez under investigation for a false start. Picture showing him that he was well outside his pit box, that he denied, but he got a 5-second penalty. And then we had safety car come in. Sainz closed up on Max before lunging into the lead at turn 1. They kind of fought through turns 2 and 3, didn't they? That was quite a nice battle.
But Sainz held on.
Sainz held on. Which then allowed Norris to catch up. Good old Lando. So Max and Norris then battled. Right. I'm gonna stop there. Max and Norris battled. There was 2 incidents, which Max got 2 penalties for. What's your guys' views on incident number 1 and incident number 2? I'm going to start with Tony. So let's discuss incident number 1.
Incident number 1. I think he had it coming. I think it's his...
Same as last week?
He needs to be... No, because I think Norris was Norris ahead. Clearly. But the second one was a disgrace.
Well, don't get on the second one. Let's get James's opinion on incident number 1 as well.
I think it's Max's fault. And then I think he knew it was his fault, because then that's what happened in turn 2, the next one.
James is sitting up. James is sitting up. He means business.
Max knew exactly what he was doing. He'd already done it to Sainz just beforehand. And he's done it all those seasons in the past with Hamilton. He did what he always does. Because Max has that mentality of, if I ain't going to win, you win. So, like I said last week, what Max did last week, that was an unsafe defence. This week, he did it again. He pushed Norris, knowing that if Norris doesn't give it back, he'll get a 5-second penalty. Because let's face it, Max even said in the post-race interviews, the problem wasn't the penalties, the problem was that car was shit. He went in that race knowing his car wasn't good enough.
I thought he'd kick off on the radio when he was given the penalties, which we'll get to. I mean, I listened to you guys speaking about the Texas one. I find it funny that Hamilton's comment, he just basically said, this is what he did to me in Brazil in 2021. I tried to tell you guys. No one listened to me. Max does not like to be overtaken. So what Max does, and rightly or wrongly, it's in the racing guidelines. Quotation marks. Racing guidelines. If he's overtaken, and like at Texas, Lando had the apex, he was in front. Max then decides, I'm just going to take my foot off the brake pedal. I ain't going to make this corner. I'm just going to take my foot off the brake pedal. I shoot by, and then I'll take us both off. Because in the rules, I'm allowed to do that. And he's got away with it in 2021. I mean, he got away with it like with everyone. And all of a sudden now, people are saying, oh, he can't really do that. He's done it his whole career. And rightly or wrongly, it's not wrong because it's within the overtaking guidelines. But it's an absolute fucking knobhead's trick. He is going to get... Let's be honest, if he was in Lando Norris's position in the championship, he wouldn't be doing it. Because the threat of him both crashing, he just won't do it. Because it doesn't matter to him if he crashes, because he'd probably take Lando out at the same time. He doesn't give a shit. So he just comes off the brakes, forces him off, and then it's within the rules, it's within the guidelines, but it's wrong. It's not racing, it's not hard racing, it's an absolute fucking knobhead's trick. Why don't he brake and do the, I hate to quote Crofty, do the whole switcheroo? Because that's a racer. Your opponent's gone by you, you brake, you get a better line in the corner, you switch back, you can then go, you get the drive out the next corner and go around him. That is racing. Coming off the brake and forcing your opponent off the track is not racing.
It's reckless.
But you make a really good point.
So then going on to part number 2. Was that... Because I think Martin said he thought Norris was giving him the place back at the time.
Yeah.
It was really odd. And I don't know if Max did what Max does and saw red. Because it was just... That was absolutely disgusting. It could have literally wiped them all out.
Agree. Completely agree. I think he saw red. He just thought, no, fuck you. And then and then he sped off, didn't he?
It's one of the tight chicanes on there. I also think Norris, because obviously there was that close together, the two incidents. It was that kind of, he pushed Norris off. Norris already sitting there thinking they're going to say I've gained an advantage. I'm not doing what we did last week. I'm giving the space back. And as he was giving the space back, when you watch it back again, you see Norris is coming up and then Max, for some reason, just swerves. Just enough for fucking Norris to have to shoot off again. But he goes off as well.
I mean, Leclerc benefited it because he went along the inside and went bye-bye.
But this is what the Ferraris are having success for. Well, they're having so much success is because of this feud between Lando and Max, and they're just capitalising from it.
But how is... You mentioned this before the break. Norris made some comments after the race that it was too far. He tried to say, apparently the driver's briefing was 19 drivers said it was wrong. Only one driver said it was right, and we can all guess.
I was going to say George Russell made that comment. There was a meeting and 19 of the 20 drivers agreed.
Yeah. So, and Lewis is just sitting there going, I've told you this since 2021. Like, you're just all starting to listen now. Why? But it's, to me, that could have been some of the racing like Leclerc and Max did a few years ago, where it was corner after corner after corner, the changing position, they're doing this, they're doing that. Max now, he's just got this streak of, well, I'm just going to force you off the road, because as long as I get in front at the apex, technically I'm not wrong. But should he have been penalised last week in Texas, and do you think that's why his penalties were harsh this week?
No. I think he should have been penalised last week in Texas, and I think that when McLaren appealed, I was hoping, and I even said on a couple of F1 pages on Facebook, stuff like that, they won't overturn the penalty on Norris.
No.
I said they won't.
No.
They'll leave that as it is. And I was thinking, for another thing, the race has been and gone now. I don't think that'd be like watching an England game from 5 years ago and saying, "No, remember that goal that we disallowed? Yeah, we're going to allow it now." It doesn't make any fucking difference now. It's done. But I thought they could have probably turned around and said, "But we are going to stick a 5-second penalty on Max to reverse it like that." I think the reason that the FIA went for the penalties that they did is because they probably did see all that and think, you know what, Hamilton was right. We know what started to go after this kind of stuff first kicked off. Let's do something now to make a point. And I know, some people are saying, I think Helmut Marko said, "Oh, they're making an example of Max." Yeah, they're fucking right. They are, and rightly so.
Because he's the only driver that does it.
Yeah, but he's also. But then after the race, the FIA also turned around and went, "Yeah, we're also going to give you 2 naughty points as well."
Yeah, good. He just, like Christian Horner's interview afterwards, he's just a slimy.
When he came through with a notepad full of evidence to say why it was all wrong.
So cringy.
It was the radio calls when they went, and Max, that's a 10-second penalty. And then he's going, there was a lot of whinging, Max. A lot of whinging. And I'm sat there going,
yeah.
Mate, how much did you fucking whinge last week with the whole bloody Norris pushing? And then he was like, and he's doing this, and he's going off on track limits, and he's exceeded. I was like, you was on the fucking radio more often than your wife. You was probably on the radio more often than your mistress.
And then, like, the pan, not allegedly. Then the pan to the pit box, and there's Horner with a face on. There's Max's engineer with a face on. Like, they'd been done to. Like, surely you're saying to Max, look, you can't race like that. Like I say, why didn't he just play the percentage game? Put the brakes on more, get a better run in the next corner, go around him, and have a good battle. Instead, it's almost like one of them niggly fouls in football where you know you're not going to catch the ball from the player, so you just take his ankles out and you get a yellow card. This is what Max is doing because he's on the cusp of breaking the rules, but not. They need to change the rules, and they're on about doing it for next year now because it's a bit too late. They're on about Qatar having a meeting there, but it's too little, too late for this championship. Change it. Make sure that he doesn't do it again. Because I'll tell you what, the talent, we say that Max is talented. Well, if they change the rules and he still wins and overtakes, then it proves he's talented. But if he suddenly stops next year to overtake him, something's not right, is it? Maybe he's not as good as we think he is.
I think a good 80% of the rules that have been brought into place in the last couple of years
because of him. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Pressure in the safety car, getting in line with whoever's in pole after a safety car, overtaking in the fucking pit lane.
Yeah. He sees the rules and he pushes them, and I'm not saying that that's wrong. I just think that it's too aggressive sometimes. And I mean, the kid's frustrated. His car's turned into an absolute bag of spanners. So I get that. But also, we said about Perez earlier, Max is still up there with a shit car, where Perez is down there with a shit car. But he's still showing his talent. It's just that now he's got a bee in his bonnet that he's not clearing off 20 seconds down the road. Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, he got 2 10-second penalties, which fair play to the FIA, because I thought, oh, he's only getting one, and when it come on to say actually he's going to get one for the other incident as well, fair play.
Fair play.
Russell and Hamilton. Russell got Hamilton. Bloody Russell. Alonso retired the car on lap 16, which was his 400th Grand Prix weekend.
I was gutted for him for that.
Perez and Lawson battle,
Mm-hmm.
and Lawson gave Perez the finger as he drove by him, which was comical. But again, Perez was over aggressive. And then it was almost like you're a little poxy team, get out of my way. And Lawson was like, nah.
Like it through that race.
Mm.
And unfortunately, the two Red Bull drivers, the wrong one got the most damage.
Yeah, I know. What a shame. Norris was closing down Leclerc in the final stretch of the race. And then Leclerc went off on the final corner and made Norris's pass very, very easy. Hamilton and Russell battled again. Went on for a while. Russell was being... they were free to race. Russell was being a bit of a dick because his front wing was broken.
Them two was making me massively nervous. I mean, I agree. Mercedes, turning around to them saying, right, you know what, guys, you're free to race. Because at the end of the day, Hamilton was a lot faster than Russell. But then he never seemed to get anywhere. And then I was getting very, very twitchy with the way them two was. They wasn't doing anything wrong. They was keeping it clean. But I was just very aware that Max Verstappen was behind them. Now, Max wasn't fucking gaining any space. He was staying like 11, 12 seconds behind them.
Yeah.
But if them two took each other out, then all of a sudden Max has gained 2 spaces.
I know.
And I was sitting there going, if I was fucking Mercedes now, I'd be going back to him and going, right, you know what? Stop fucking racing now.
Well, Russell had an old spec car because of his crashes.
Yeah,
Hamilton had the most up-to-date car, and Russell had a broken front wing. Why wouldn't you just say, there you go, Lewis, clear off. You're clearly faster than me. They were battling for quite a while, and he finally got him in lap 66. But that just is the mentality of George Russell. I just don't like him. And honest to God, I don't think I'll be supporting Mercedes. I won't be supporting Mercedes next year, but I won't even be thinking, I love Mercedes, because that twat's driving for him. I hope he crashes every week, and I just do. Red Bull.
I've got all back on my Aston Martin cap, so
yeah, exactly. You've got your second. I've got my Ferrari top now, so I'm all right.
No, I wonder who's going to be better off.
Forza Ferrari. Red Bull pitted a damaged Perez to try and get the fastest lap, which was absolutely pointless. Absolutely pointless. So anything else from the race before I give the top 10?
Not that I can think of. But supposedly the FIA steward is the son of is related to quite closely McLaren, Mercedes. I don't know if you've heard this story.
I saw this today. Yeah. They're saying Red Bull are looking into this conspiracy about there's a McLaren link with the stewards, and
that's why I got 10-second penalty in all this bollocks.
Right, and how much of a fucking benefit did they get from the FIA fucking 3 years ago?
You guys talked about it last week, the secret button ride height thing on the Red Bull. Are you really ones to be fucking saying, oh, well, he's related to him, when you've got a button that changes your ride height and you hide it, and you've actually admitted it? It's not allegedly. But the FIA, instead of banning you from every race that you've been in that car, they've gone, just don't press it going forward. All right. Don't use it. James, I've put £1 million in your bank account, but please don't take it out. Please. Just leave it there. Pretend it's not there. All right.
Can I swim in it like Scrooge McDuck?
No, you've got to forget that it's even there, because just be nice, all right? Fuck off, FIA, you fucking idiots. So, Sainz won the race. Norris was second, Leclerc third, Hamilton fourth, Russell fifth, Max sixth, Magnussen seventh, Piastri eighth, Hülkenberg ninth, Gasly 10th. That leaves the Drivers' Championship as Max on 362, Norris on 315, Leclerc on 291 with 4 races to go. Just a quickly, do you think the championship's too far for Norris, or do you think he could overhaul him?
I don't think it's too far.
I think it's too far.
I think it's too far. Someone made a point tonight. If Max Verstappen was decided, I'm just going to stay at home for the next 2 races, Norris would only be 2 points in front of him with 2 races to go.
He would.
Big gap. He's gonna do it. Unfortunately,
I'm just gonna say what I said last week. Look at 2021.
Yeah,
Max had it, and then all of a sudden he blew a couple of races towards the end, so much so that him and Hamilton went into the very last race on level points. Max doesn't like the car. Max is facing a 5-second penalty, so a 5 grid penalty. Change power units, but the power unit is changing to is an old power unit.
Is it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, it only takes his mentality again, a couple more penalties like that and stupid finishes, and it can still. It's a long shot, but it's not out of the realms.
It's not unrealistic. There's enough points on the board. In absolutely fantastic news, constructor standings, McLaren are on 566, Ferrari on 537, Red Bull 512. They are down to third. I mean, Ferrari, we've slagged them off a lot this season. To get second for them with a chance of getting first, fair play.
I said, last week in my predictions, I turned around and said, Ferrari looked great last week, but they have this habit of having a good race week and then it turned into shit the week after because they make some stupid mistake or a tactical decision or something like that. And they didn't.
No.
They didn't. They nearly had another 1-2.
But the others are squabbling, so therefore they'll capitalise on it. That's what I think.
This is it.
I think they'll still finish second, though. I think McLaren are too far in front.
Do you think?
It'd be nice for them to win it, but I think McLaren are too far in front. Unless something pretty major happens in the next couple of races.
Well, we've got 4 to go. Obviously, sprint weekend this weekend. We've got a couple of weeks break after Brazil.
Yep, and then another trip.
Then it's on to the final 3. So, prediction section. James, it's over to you.
So, Mark, you had 31 points. I had 37 points. Tony had 33 points. Mark, you went Max, Norris, Leclerc. You got Norris and Leclerc, giving you 3 points, giving you 34 points in total.
Yes.
I went Norris, Max, Leclerc. I got Leclerc, giving me 38 points. Tony, you got jack shit.
I did.
What did Tony predict?
Tony went Norris, Sainz, and Max.
So I was there with Max Sainz, but not full.
Yeah, not far off. Charlie went Norris, Leclerc, Sainz. She started on 14 and is still on 14. Beth, the FIA, went Sainz, Hamilton, Max. Beth is the only one out of all of us to actually pick the winner. Giving her 3 points, taking her from 29 points to 32 points. I would like to think that Beth is keeping a close eye on the scores.
Beth's very competitive.
I'm listening very closely now in the background for Beth, because I also noticed that with Beth's giving you the 2-point deduction, Tony, that now means that you're on 31 points and Beth is on 32, putting her in front of you.
Oh, wow. I go back to earlier on in the season when I just had a point deducted for nothing as well. So it doesn't matter. I'll still win. So.
Did we take that one off? I can't remember if we did or not.
No.
I don't know. But
Yeah.
I had a side bet anyway. You forgot about that.
Huh?
I had a side bet anyway, and you forgot about that.
Oh, no, I didn't forget about that. I just haven't mentioned it. I've mentioned it with Mark earlier. So, yeah, that is another point deduction for Tony. So that now puts you on 30 points. Oh, so current standings are I'm on 38, Mark's on 34, you're on 30, Beth is on 32, and Charlie is on 14. The guru.
So what was Charlie's predictions for Mexico? Sorry, just so I can fill my book out.
Charlie went Norris, Leclerc, and Sainz.
I mean, not she had the right drivers.
Yeah.
Okay, Brazil. Host goes first. I've changed my mind 7 times in the last 10 minutes. But so I originally I went Norris, Hamilton, Piastri. Then I changed it to Norris, Hamilton, Sainz, and then I've come up with Norris for the win. So that's what I'm going for. I'm going for Carlos Sainz second. And I'm going for Oscar Piastri third. So no Max in the top 3. I was going to go Lewis, but because he loves Brazil, but I just can't do it. I'm going to go Tony next because he's had a point deduction and I don't want him copying off James or anyone else. So
I have no
Tony.
idea. I have no idea. I've not looked into this at all.
What, you haven't looked on your GP chat or whatever it is?
I've only used that once and nearly got there. Oh, I think you're gonna have to go Lando for the win. You have to go Lando for the win. Max is going to be up there, but with his power unit and all that jazz, just don't see him. It's a difficult one. I like Sainz. I do like Sainz. Really do like Sainz. Part of me wants to gamble and put Sainz first for the bands.
Will you just pick 3 drivers for God's sake?
Yeah, but this is how I've ended up last.
You're going to get another deduction in a minute from the FIA for dicking about. Come on.
I'm not thinking about it. I don't know. I'm going to go with Norris, Sainz, and then.
So you've copied off me, right? Okay.
No, because I want to put Lewis third. Go on.
Okay. James.
So I've also gone Norris for the win.
Oh my God. I've made up loads of ground here.
I've also gone Sainz.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Can I swap mine? Can I go Sainz, Lando, Lewis, just for the bands?
I'll allow it. I mean, it's up to you, James.
What was it, sorry?
He wants to swap Norris and Sainz.
Sainz, Lando, Lewis.
So who was your third, James?
I've also decided that Max is not in the top 3. And I've gone Leclerc.
Ooh.
Mm.
So
Good pick.
I have Beth's picks.
I have not seen Best Pick, but I've heard it come through.
So Hamilton first for Beth.
Wow.
Sainz second.
Oh,
Norris third.
wow.
So Tony, I think you're going to be level with the FIA again after this week because
Are
Hamilton
you
is
happy?
not winning. Is not winning. But I'm not derogatory to the FIA. I'm just saying that's brave when she's in front of you, Tony. But hey, she might be right.
Well, she made that mistake last time, didn't she? When she got a little bit ahead of herself.
She got giddy and threw a curveball out there. Charlie picks.
Charlie, annoyingly, has gone exactly the same as me.
Wow.
She sent me the message. I didn't read it. I made my pick, and then I went back to see hers, and I was like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
So unfortunately, James, no points for you this week either because the guru very rarely gets all three right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, unless you guys have some other business, we have reached the end of the podcast.
Wow, what a podcast. Again.
Good one. Enjoyed it. Got a lot out. I mean, we had Tony's Corner, and when it just turned into Tony's Question Time. But now he knows it's coming, he's got that freedom. And I mean, it's up to James if he wants to continue this. Tony, 5 minutes. Talk about what you want. Pooing, squatting, shitting yourself, dodgy haircuts, whatever you want to talk about, it's okay with us. Because I don't want to be a dictator. It's not just Formula One in my world. I'm open. I'm a changed man. I've come back from China changed.
You do seem very, very happy. I don't know why.
Seeing your lovely faces and trying not to laugh at your haircut. I mean, no.
Have you realised? You must have realised like Brandzone's not that bad compared to like some of the fucking places in Asia.
Oh, Brandzone is a palace compared to some places in Shanghai.
What did you eat apart from chips?
Monster Munch.
I did take some biscuits. I ate them. Let's just say the chicken wasn't chicken, but because we was in Disney parks, I think I survived on burgers.
Oh.
I did have a pizza. Oh, we did find a nice Mexican restaurant in Hong Kong.
Nice.
So fajitas, tacos. But I mean, I have got some pictures which I will share with you guys of some dodgy shit that we got served. And honest to God, it was dodgy shit. So on that note, thanks for joining me. Thanks for being you two. Thanks for another good podcast. Thanks to Andy. Thanks to CookieCast. You're going to hear a lot from us because James has booked us on to 1,000,001 specials over the next 2 months. Have a good one, guys. See you soon.
See you soon,
Bye.
Bye.
So there you go. What do you think of that? Fantastic stuff. I'm sure you will agree. If you want to agree more with what's happened here, with what's going to come in the future, and everything in between, consider like, share, subscribe, and comment. Leave a review where you can leave a review. Check out the website, thecookiecast.com. There we've got social media links and an email button, and that way you can get in touch with these guys, say love what you're doing, keep doing it. Get in touch with any podcast that we've got on the network. Just get in touch. That is actually this one done. That is this week gone. This week's race. Next week's race. Until next time, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then.
This has been another episode of CookieCast. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share and subscribe.